Audio check. Can you hear me?
Oops. Okay. Hi, everyone. Why is there feedback?
I can hear you. Good evening.
Try again.
Yeah,
Better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll call to order the closed session for June 24th for HBCSD Board of Education. Natalie, can you take roll call?
Board Member Van Landingham is on Zoom. Board
Present.
Member Cole.
Present.
Board Member Bove LaMonica. Vice President Clerk Cluth.
Present.
And President Barrow is absent today.
Okay, so public comments from everyone in the audience. Members of the audience may address the board regarding closed session agenda items. Comments from visitors will not exceed 3 minutes unless waived by a majority of the board members. Natalie, are there any in-person comments?
We do not.
Okay, all right. With that, we will adjourn to closed session.
Let me know when you're ready and she'll say.
Test. Test. Record. Test.
Testing 1, 2. Can you hear me? Testing. Natalie, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Perfect. Okay, I think we figured it out. Thank you very much.
Yay. Okay, so let's call to order the special meeting of HBCSD on June 24th. Natalie, can you take roll?
Board Member Van Landingham is joining us via Zoom. Board Member Cole,
Present.
Board Member Bove LaMonica, Vice President Clerk Cluth,
Present.
and President Barrow is absent at this moment.
Great, thank you. So tonight in closed session, the board received information and gave direction to staff. The board took action to approve a settlement agreement in the matter of case 202-602-0364. Roll call for the approval was as follows. Board Member Van Landingham, yes. Board Member Cole, yes. Board Member Bove LaMonica, yes. Vice President Clerk Cluth, yes. And President Barrow was absent. Can we please do the flag salute? Know it. Can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved. A second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I saw Rachel say aye. Board, do we have to do a voice?
Aye, thank you, sorry.
Thank you. Motion carries and the agenda is approved. Public comment. Members of the audience may address the board on any topic regardless of whether or not it is listed in the agenda. However, the board may not discuss issues raised that are not listed in the agenda. Topics not on the agenda that are brought to the board's attention may be investigated by administration and a report made to the board publicly or privately at a future meeting. Comments from visitors shall not exceed 3 minutes per speaker unless waived by a majority of members on the board. Do we have any requests, Natalie?
We have none.
Great. Board member reports. Maggie.
Um, uh, I hopped on the Chamber of Commerce call this week and just reminded them about the Galaxy event that Valley School is hosting for World Cup. And this can be a board item for later for discussion, but we used to have board representation at the chamber. And given that staff is spread thin on things, it might be worthwhile to have either a rotating board member or somebody just hop on those calls. Yep.
That seems like a good idea, Maggie. Are they more active than they were?
Yeah. And now it's
Regularly?
on Zoom. You don't have to go to like a little room. So it's once a month on Zoom at 9 a.m. And that way we can just ensure that our chamber membership.
Okay,
is
I'm,
represented.
if you'd like me to join that, I would,
I'm- you know
Yeah,
what?
Natalie will add that to the
That's
membership
fine.
list. Yeah, thank
You
you.
know what?
you can stay on that, Maggie. Sorry, yeah. Sorry, I did have a question about that. I thought I saw the sign up that said that it was on south of the pier, but just in a few days in July. Right.
Yes.
Are we having that? Is it that same time period?
So we have on Saturday, the 18th, to have the right date, and the 19th in the morning, the Galaxy is hosting a camp for students 6 to 12, ages 6 to 12. And then right following that, we'll have a viewing party. So I
For the
believe
finals.
for on the Valley campus. So it'll be a great event. We'll start publicizing it. We're waiting for the World Cup.
Long Beach had 3,000 people show up.
Yeah, I think people will show up. People are super into the World Cup right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was just hoping that we're having a watch party tomorrow and we're not.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
Okay.
I
Thank you.
can't get that done, but we will have one on the 18th and 19th, and it's a nice kind of fenced in area and
Perfect.
it'll
Thanks.
be great.
Is that it?
Yep, that was it.
Okay. Jen?
Nope, sorry. I'm just
No
trying to-
reports? I don't have any either, so we will move to reports to the board. Oh, Rachel, sorry.
It's okay. I didn't have anything. Thank you.
Sorry, Rachel. Dr. Wilds reports to the board.
All right. So this is a quick update. Board member Bove LaMonica had asked a question, I want to say back in February, and we were just starting to do our first screening of the class Devil's Risk of Reading Difficulty screener. So I just thought I would do a quick work that our VIEW and our VISTA teachers have done. So just a quick update. So just a reminder, Senate Bill 114 says that starting this school year, all school districts have to screen for risk of reading difficulties in grades K, 1, and 2, no less than once a year. And it was, if you remember, almost exactly 1 year ago, you all were approving M-Class and Dibbles as our screening instrument. The goal of this screening was just to reduce the prevalence of reading difficulties, including dyslexia, although this screener does not assess for dyslexia. It just is a screening tool for students who are at risk by taking preventative actions, providing evidence-based core instruction and evidence-based interventions in response to the screening, meant to be delivered in the general education classroom. So M-Class Dibbles, which was our adopted screener, measures all of these areas: students' oral language, phonological and phonemic awareness, decoding, letter sound knowledge, knowledge of letter names, and then we have a few additional indicators that if students indicate that they are at risk in the above, then there are additional indicators that we can assess in: rapid automatized naming, visual attention, reading fluency, and language comprehension. So all of these are criteria that was put forward by the CDE. So our rollout, so in 25-26 school year, we formally adopted M-Class Dibbles for grades K through 2. We also simultaneously worked to strengthen Tier 1 instruction. So that was the rollout of Wit and Wisdom, strengthening foundations, and rollout of GEODs, high quality instructional materials. We held 2 family events to educate families on the screening process, how the brain actually learns to read, and how Hermosa Beach will identify and support students at risk. We trained all kindergarten through 2nd grade teachers, our administrators, and support providers in the administration of M-Class and Dibbles. We then administered the first round of screening in February. We identified students at risk, and we provided approximately 10 weeks of very intensive intervention. So we want to deeply thank all of the teachers and staff who rallied to really disaggregate the data and put interventions in place based on the needs of our kids. We then administered a second round of screening in May, and this was really out of the request of the teachers that found the information so valuable. We wanted to this screening to start occurring 3 times a year as a regular benchmark in grades K through 2. And then we communicated all results to families via mail. So one of our quotes that we've been using this year is, you can't Tier 2 your way out of a Tier 1 problem. So this idea of really strengthening, if our Tier 1 core instruction is doing its job, then it should be serving the needs of 80 to 90% of our students. So it should meet the needs of all of our students proactively. And then when you look at data, and if you have a percentage of Tier 2 and Tier 3 students needing Tier 2, 3, if you have a large percentage of students who need Tier 2 and Tier 3 support above and beyond 80 to 90%, it means Tier 1 actually needs to be strengthened. It's not doing its job. So 25-26, it was really critical that we give teachers time to actually internalize the shifts and make those pivots in Tier 1 before we began suddenly pulling kids out and giving them additional supports. So year 1 data. So I kind of kept on the left-hand side just so we can all remember. Tier 1 we should see 80 to 90% of our students in the green and red and blue if Tier 1 is doing its job. We should get down to 5 to 10% who need that Tier 2 repeated, with this idea of repetition, right? Learning is repetition. You need more repetition, and that we should see less than 1 to 5% who need that Tier 3 special education support. So overall, MOY indicates middle of the year. So you see the top indicator is all grade levels together, K1 and 2. At the middle of the year, that was that early February administration. You'll see 39% of students in the blue. That is above where we would expect them to be, 32% at where we would expect them to see. But we did have 29% of students who were indicating that they needed some level of support and that were at risk, higher than what we would expect. So again, we came back, spent time, did learning walks, walked our classroom, gave additional coaching to teachers, and then we were able to identify those students, particularly in the red first, and then also in the yellow. And you'll see the end of the year, we saw large gains. So we're really, really impressed. In particular, I want to point out, if you want to look at the end of the year, grade 1, just phenomenal. down to only 6% of first graders still needing that support. Moving forward, we're going to change the assessment timeline. So this year we did our first administration in the winter. We'll be assessing, and we'll talk about that in a minute, earlier, so that we can do more rounds of intervention for students that need.
Did you find that parents were really understanding this? Because once you understand how.
Yeah.
I think.
What this looks like. So I'm going
Yeah,
to show a
but-
little bit. Yeah. So it's a little hard to see in here, but one of the reasons we selected M-Class Dibbles is because of the robust parent reporting, right? So typically iReady, CASP, you get these scores, and as a parent, not necessarily knowing how you got that score and then what do you do with that score. So there's the 4, the above, the at, the below, and well below. Blue and green, these are students who just need core instruction. The yellow, these are students who need just some strategic support. This is maybe a small group in the classroom. This is an additional repetition within the classroom. The red are the students who we targeted for very intensive intervention. But the parent report on the right-hand side then breaks the score down. You have an overall composite score at the top, and it'll say, first of all, why is your child being assessed? And what do the below assessments mean? So you get an overall composite score. So for this particular sample report, this is not one of our students. This is a kind of a dummy report that we ran, but you'll see this student overall's composite score is a 403, which indicates that they are at benchmark. But there are some areas where the student is stronger than others. And within each area, it breaks it down into the subcategory: letter names, phonemic awareness, decoding. And for this particular student, you can see that he was a lot stronger in letter naming. So he was an overall composite score of 66. But then under each category, and it's a little difficult to see because it's in bold, it will literally tell the parent what is the question prompt that happened here. So the student was asked to name both uppercase and lowercase letters in this particular screener. On the back side of this score report, it actually will have a link to a website that has all kinds of additional activities, but it also has 2 to 3 very easy at-home games that you can play in the car, play at the dinner table, just to kind of strengthen whichever area was a particular weakness for your particular child. So it's not the same across the board. So in this sample, this student had 2 areas in the yellow under the accurate and fluent reading. That was in the kind of the second category. And your student reads stories quickly, smoothly, and accurately. So this is a student who needs that kind of fluency practice. So on the back sheet, there'll actually be fluency practice activities to do at home.
So when we do like first report cards of the first, is this something that we have, were the teachers comfortable taking their families through this?
So the first report card, we hadn't done this yet. So in February,
Mhm.
taking him through it, the feedback we got from teachers is they would like more. We have one more session with Amplify for the trainers to Amplify, which is M-Class Dibbles, to come out and do the next session. We'll be on doing deep dives of this information. There's also a lot of back-end reporting where teachers can pull small groups, district-wide. We can disaggregate all kinds of different ways, but that will be the next training we'll do in the fall.
Because I would think as a parent, this is what you really want to know. Because if
Yes.
you're sitting across and you're getting like,
Yeah.
my kid's getting an A, or my kid's not, maybe in the
Yeah.
grade level,
So
like
then
why?
the other piece of this is that students who are in the red, we're screening everybody 3 times a year. Students who are in the red, who are going to get these intensive interventions, get also what's called progress monitoring, which is every 2 weeks approximately. Then whichever one of these indicators that the teacher is working on, we can do, it's another 60-second screener. So we can see actually progress monitoring. So the teacher will be able to pull up and see kind of the progress over the 10 weeks of instruction to see that they're responding.
I think it's going to be really curious in maybe 3 to 5 years to start pulling longitudinal data on students who've been identified through Dibbles and then looking at the SBAC and
Yes.
seeing how we can start doing literacy as a through line
Yeah.
for the district to see
Yeah.
what the trends are and how to
Right. And then,
strengthen.
ultimately for us, we need you reading by 3rd grade, right? So that is the goal. And so if we're monitoring this very closely at kindergarten, 1st grade, I mean, if we're looking at just the 1st grade data alone,
Right.
me knowing that I only have 6% of my students that I need to really now heavily, I've got 1 year to now double dose, triple dose them and kind of seeing what some of the outcomes will be. So that's the goal.
Are those intervention sessions happening before school? When do those typically
We are
happen?
all over the place. So some are happening before school, some are happening after school, some are happening during school, during different types of pullout sessions. Some are happening in class. So we have some teachers, it really depended on the numbers, the need, right? Depending on, we might have 3 students who needed phonemic awareness. You might have 6 students who needed fluency. So they were built based on the cluster of groups. But really based on, as well, based on teachers. So I had, like Carrie King, for example, was teaching several times a week, a morning session. And so first graders are roaring to go at 7:30 in the morning. So she was doing a morning session, right? So we had instructional aides supporting as well.
I have another question too. Do you have a question? I do too. Go ahead.
Do any student categories opt out or get pulled out of DIBELS testing? And sometimes SBAC, there's alternative pathways.
So you don't, every parent had the option to opt out. And if you can see on the numbers, we had a few. So we had approximately 3 kids in kindergarten who opted out. There's no one that we automatically opt out. I'd like data on everybody, regardless of whether if you have an IEP or a 504, I still want the data because that tells me what we need to work on. But we did have a few families. This administration is not done whole group. It's not like CAST. The teacher has an iPad. She sits one-on-one with a student. And so it's a very low stress. But that first administration, it was the teacher's first time of administering too. So, this idea is we believe that the data is also going to start tightening up the more administration reps the teachers get in administering it. And each one of these subtests is only 60 seconds. So the whole test is done with a student, takes no longer than 6 to 10 minutes.
And we have identified who those kids that opted out are. So potentially, if they would potentially fall in the red or yellow, we can be like, okay, we just want to make sure because even though you opted out, we still have to pay attention.
Yeah, we have that list. Some of the students are students who have IEPs or might have a 504 and parents, for a variety of reasons, just felt that they didn't want their child to take it, which
It's fine.
allows them to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then was this direction in terms of like how we set it up and in terms of like sharing the process with the teachers, training the teachers, doing all that, was that something that came along with this mandate? In terms of like the plan of how to implement it, or was this just
No,
we
no.
created this?
Yeah, we created this. Yeah. Yeah, we did this.
Because it
Yeah.
seems very thoughtful. It's very targeted. It may be something we want to share with other districts and how to roll this out if they haven't, because everyone had to roll it out.
Yeah.
Whether they
And
did it
everyone-
or
yeah.
not, I don't know.
And
but-
everyone rolled it out. And interesting to note, this is an unfunded mandate. So we were not given any money from the district to pay for this screening. The only money, we got a very small few $1,000s that could be used to train staff. So we got a little bit of money to train basically the sub costs, but there was no other mandate. There was no other money that came along with us.
Rachel has
Rachel.
a question, I think.
Thank you. I really liked Board Member Cole's comment too about this does seem to be something that we can be sharing and capturing into best practices. I had 2 questions. The meta question is, what are the challenges that you see? What really were the primary challenges in the implementation and the current challenges going forward? My tactical level question was, I thought I heard you say it was only 6 to 10 minutes per student. But so
Right.
when teachers are doing this, are they taking an entire class? I mean, 1 full day of instruction is devoted to this. So that's 3 days a year now that we're devoted to this. And I think it's wonderful. I mean, even if I wish this was a funded mandate, but I'm glad this was mandated. I didn't truly understand what this could do for us when we were adopting it last year. And now this just seems phenomenal. I'm so glad we're doing it. But I was wondering, what were the challenges and how much actual class time does this take? Thanks.
Yeah. So for the first administration, I didn't want the teachers to be stressed managing a class and pulling kids trying to test at the same time. So each teacher received a full day substitute to be in the class while they could sit outside on a bench or whatever is more comfortable for them in order to assess. That gave us the ability to actually see the rollout of the assessment. Principals assessed, SPED teachers assessed, so it was kind of an all hands on deck. For the second administration, one of my first, I not to call her name again, but like going to Carrie King. And I said, how hard was this for you to do? And she's like, oh, I just did 2, 3 kids a day. Whenever the kids were doing independent work, I pulled, because it is so quick, I just had my iPad in the back, brought 1, 2, 3 kids. And so she was able to get through fairly quickly. So it's not something that really took the whole day, but it is a little strategic in how you just knock out a couple kids a day.
Thank you. So this will be part of standard onboarding for our new K1, 2,
Yes.
K1 and 2 instructors. Thank you. And then
Yes.
finally, what do you see the challenges going forward?
I mean, I think that I don't know that I've done, I know we don't like the name, but I've done Dibbles has been around for, I want to say close to 25, 30 years. And they really have refined it to be so user-friendly for not only the administrator, for the parent who's getting the report, but also for the back-end data. It's so easy to pull data and cluster kids and being able to see longitudinally. I think, the hardest part is always trying to find time in a given day to do interventions, right? And I think it's also training staff that we don't need something different as an intervention. We just need more, right? It's like learning to ride a bike. You don't go get a different bike every time. You do more of time on the bike, right? And so just really kind of getting through, I think we're year 1, so really proud of this data. And I just think the more we show this to teachers and let them celebrate their data, because just 10 weeks in instruction and we got a 15% gain in kids above grade level is huge.
It's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I do hope we're going to circle back with the few parents that opted out to show them some of this. I mean, this is all transparent and public. It's not individualized per student. So we can show them this, say, this is what we're getting. This is how we can be helping your student even more.
Yeah, we were so proud of our parent ed nights. And I think I got, how many came? 6? I know. I was so proud of that too. I was like, let's go.
Would that be
Nobody
something maybe we should
Thank you for this.
consider hosting a
Sure.
teacher? Well, you could host it virtually, or a teacher doesn't have to be there to do it. You could do it after back to school night. Like,
Yeah.
and just be like, an
Hey,
hour back to school and 30 minutes of a parent. Hey, these
Yeah.
are some of the big things you're going to encounter this year. I bet you'd get a crowd to stay.
yeah, we'll try that.
I can
this year.
sell that for
Yeah.
you.
Sell it for me. Okay, so plans for, sorry, it's not listening. Oh, my clicker's not listening to you. Will you forward me one more? Great. So 26, 27, we're going to move the screening up. In grades 1 and 2, we are going to be screening very early in September because we're getting as many intervention rounds as we can. We will repeat it in the winter and we'll repeat it in the spring. Kindergarten is not going to be doing a fall administration because I'm sure you can imagine they just got here. So they will have their administration again in the winter and the spring again. And we are going to be talking about this expansion into 3rd grade. That is the goal, to get everybody reading by 3rd grade, to be able to kind of continue this screening well into 3rd grade. We have foundations in 3rd grade, so we feel like it's a natural kind of flow. Ongoing progress monitoring for those students who are at risk in strategic and intention intervention cycles. We will continue the implementation and tightening of Tier 1 and making that core instruction as solid as we can. Professional development, foundations, wit and wisdom, geodes, and then M-class and Dibbles again. So
I had one more question. I'm
Sorry.
sorry. Is it okay to ask it now?
yes,
Oh, sorry.
I don't know why that
I mean,
popped
I
up.
know
Yes, go ahead.
you've appropriately stressed that this is not a dyslexia screener.
Right.
However, does it identify students that then need to go on for additional screening for dyslexia? And have we been able to identify it's dyslexia earlier on than we would have?
So one of the important things to note is that, so say a student, we do the screening, their composite score is in the red, right? That they're showing significantly at risk. It's going to then open up some additional assessments, screeners. The RAN, the rapid automatized naming, is one of the key indicators that there might be something else we need to look at. But what we also stress is because this is just a screener, we want to make sure that then we are giving students the opportunity to respond to the intervention, right? So if we identify them at risk, then we're going to give them a round of intervention and we want to see if they're responding. If they're not responding to the intervention, then yes, we're going to move forward with psychoeducational assessment to kind of really dig deep and see what's going on. But there are so many factors that could indicate whether a student's in the red. Students who had, they had not opportunities to attend school. Maybe they didn't go to preschool, they didn't go to TK, kindergarten. We've just met them for the first time. They very well may pop in the red just for exposure. Students who are English language learners will pop in the red because of lack of exposure to the English language. You might also have students who have like a health, students who have had history of ear tubes in their ears can impact sound. And so all of that can impact. And so we want to actually make sure whether they respond. So it's their response after the screening to intervention will really be the indicator of whether we need to move on to additional assessment.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Great. That's it for me. Thanks.
We'll move on to the consent agenda then. Is there a motion to approve items on the consent agenda?
So, second.
Rachel, was that you? Oh, nope, wasn't you, it was Jen. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes, and did you hear Rachel? You got Rachel too? Okay.
Aye.
All right, thank you. All right, move on to action items. So item 11.1, the adoption of the 2026-2027 Local Control and Accountability Plan Annual Update, Ms. Gluck.
It's recommended that the 26-27 Local Control and Accountability Plan, along with the annual updates, be adopted.
Are there any questions?
I just wanted to, again, thank you for doing such a great job on it. And really, thank you for just like opening up and getting the staff and the students and the families to like give feedback. And we really do we base a lot of our strategic plan and our thinking and how we kind of judge our year based off the feedback. So, but thank you for just cultivating it and getting it out there and putting it all together. And I just sit on 2 school boards, so I see the differences. And this one's really like professionally done. And I
Together, all
really, really
500
appreciate
pages
it.
of it?
Yeah.
Rachel, any questions? No?
No, thank you. That was great.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Go Maggie.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Thanks, Rachel. Moving on to 11.2, adoption of the 2026-2027 local control funding formula draft budget. Ms. Montalvo.
Thank you. The recommendation is that the 25-26 local control funding formula budget be adopted. And actually, that's a typo. It's 26-27.
Questions?
No, I was going to say I make a motion to adopt the revised motion. Revised language.
With the revised date.
Yeah, yes, with the
Yes.
updated year.
Yes. I second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Moving on to 11.3, ratification of proposal from Cornerstone Construction for interior wall system at Hermosa Valley School. Ms. Montalvo.
Great, thank you. As part of the Hermosa Valley Modernization Project, the district has identified the need to install 2 interior wall systems to support planned programming and classroom improvements. These improvements include the construction of 2 acoustically dampened sound insulating walls at the Hermosa Valley School. The work will occur in Building C, 5A and 5B, and Building D, 12 and 13. The scope of the work also includes electrical receptacle updates and with the new wall system. Cornerstone Construction has submitted a proposal to complete this work at a lump sum amount of $14,900. The proposal includes construction of 532 square feet of new acoustical wall consisting of 28 feet by 9 in Building C and 28 feet by 10 in Building D. Recommendation that the proposal for Cornerstone Construction for the installation of the new interior wall in the amount of $14,900 be ratified.
Thank you. Any questions?
Just remind us what it's separating and why we're doing it again.
So these were walls that were taken down a number of years ago, one in the STEM lab,
Mhm.
Mr. Kaplan's room, as
Mhm.
well as right next door to our district office, rooms 12 and 13. And it was an extra long science room. Once we build new science rooms, we don't need that room to be, and we need that room to be broken back into 2 classrooms.
And so we're going to do that
We're doing it
now?
now. So that way those classrooms are ready to move folks around when we need building A vacated.
Can I just ask how long we think that will take? In that, could we, since we're not moving teachers until a different date?
Yeah. Yeah.
A date TBD?
Yeah.
Could we, if it's a week long or 2 weeks long, or
But
could we consider waiting?
I would not, just because we need to be able to use the spaces and be able to move people in there a little bit earlier. One is the space we need to be able to use as a classroom for this
Okay.
coming year.
Any other questions? Rachel, any questions?
Just a comment, because I mean, I think it's good to get the construction costs when we can get them, because gosh knows how much stuff is going to continue to rise. And I was actually surprised. I thought this would be more expensive. Not that I'm a construction expert, but I thought this was, whoever did the proposal, it sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve?
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on to 11.4, rejection of the bid for Hermosa View relocatable classroom installation project. Ms. Montalvo.
Great, thank you. District staff, with the support of district advocate groups, or DAG, issued a bid HVW 2026-001 for the Hermosa View Elementary relocatable classroom installation project. The project was publicly bid in accordance with all contracting requirements. The project consists of site work, installation related to improvements necessary to support the 2 relocatables at View. At the time of the bidding, the district received 1 bid for this project. The sole bid was submitted by Steady Solutions, Inc. in the amount of $712,097.86. District staff determined that the bid amount exceeds the district budget estimates for the scope of work. Due to the high cost of the bid and the limited competition resulting from only 1 bid being received, staff recommends that the board reject the bid received for this project. Recommendation, staff recommends that the board reject the bid number HVW 2026-001 for the Hermosa View relocatable projects. Staff further recommends that the board authorize the superintendent or designee to take all necessary actions to reassess the project scope, budget, procurement options, including the rebidding the project if determined that's to be in the best interest of the district.
Can you, do we think that there will be multiple bids when we go back out?
We think we'd like to break the project into smaller pieces.
Okay.
And when you do that, we're able to work a little bit harder to solicit different companies to do different pieces of it, right? Smaller jobs, folks that may be working locally that could come over and do it. This is a very small project. You know, our estimators were saying this whole thing should not cost more than about 125, maybe 140. So we think we can break it apart in smaller pieces.
Do we know what consisted of their $712,097.86? It seems a little like highway robbery, but I'm
It
not.
seems it's pretty standard practice for that. Companies will oftentimes throw out an outrageous bid just to go fishing. I don't have the bid on me, but I can look it up, put it in the Friday update.
Maggie, any questions? Rachel?
No, thank you.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve 11.4?
So moved.
Second? Can I second? Okay, I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving on to item 11.5, the approval of the agreement for comparative staffing review. Dr. Wild.
Yes. So tonight, we're asking the board to approve a comparative staffing review of the district office departments by School Services of California to benchmark Hermosa Beach City School District staffing levels, organizational structure, and functional responsibilities, and compare us with like districts, like non-basic aid, similar UPP elementary school districts. This is, to my knowledge, has not been done maybe ever. And as the district has ebbed and flowed in size, students, and staffing, we just think it's time to get a comparison survey and see if we are right-sized, if we're oversized, and be able to work from there. The review will identify opportunities to improve organizational efficiency, provide recommendations on staffing levels, if warranted, based on a comprehensive analysis of district and peer staffing data. Staff recommend you approve this agreement.
Did we go out for multiple bids for this? I mean, I know it's not a bidding, it's not construction, but I mean, compared to the walls, this sounds really expensive for what they're doing, but is this standard thing?
This is pretty standard. School serve, there's very few companies that would actually do this, but school services is a partner of ours. They are support schools. They have the data to actually do this, where an outside company would actually have to go into districts and be able to study. They have access to all the district's data to be able to do this for us.
So it'd be more expensive if we went to somebody
It
else.
would be significant.
Okay.
It, you know, other districts and kind of quotes might be anywhere between 35 and 40,000 because they have to go in and they have to interview and they have to do a forensic analysis. School services actually already has this data that they can pull from.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah.
Is this a not to exceed?
Yes.
Questions? Maggie? No?
I motion to approve. Sorry.
Thank you. Perfect. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving to board member roundtable. Rachel, did you have anything for the roundtable?
No, not at this moment. Thank you. Thank you for the, again, the incredible graduation, promotion ceremony a few weeks ago. We're still buzzing, and I'm still hearing comments from other families, on how they really enjoyed the function afterwards, better than earlier promotions in which the kids split to the dance or just skipped out and the parents was kind of left on their own. So this was terrific. Thank you.
Maggie?
Two things. One, curious when we get the update to the tech plan, the technology plan, is that on the agenda?
It's on our agenda. We're trying to finalize our work with Torrance, but it's on our agenda for the fall.
For the fall?
Yeah.
And then I guess tying to that, once we have data, it seems like the thing for school boards to be looking at right now is our tech policies. So
Mhm.
curious to bring that up again
Yep.
when we want to talk about
Yep.
technology.
We have as part of the tech plan, we have a draft AI acceptable use policy that we're working on as well.
Or tech-free below grade 2.
That would be something we
the
can talk
book.
about. Yep.
So I'd love to see the data that would justify decisions one way or the other.
Mhm.
Second question is, when are we bringing back to the board the framework discussion on TK ages?
Next
and
month.
Next
Yeah,
month?
next month. So what I'll start doing probably in this Friday's update is I'll provide just background data and you all can start reading it as your leisure. So you'll be ready to discuss in July.
Jen? I don't have anything either. So with that, we'll just mention that the district office is closed, well, in all the campuses on July 3rd to observe Independence Day. And the next school board meeting is on July 8th at 5 p.m. for closed session and 6 p.m. for open session. So with that, we're done, adjourned. Oh, motion to close, sorry. Move in second. Do I have to say all in favor? Oh, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.